Alright guys, so this is not a video I really want to do, but it's a video that I need to do. I went over the Epstein files and I read a lot of disturbing things. So I want to go over some of the most disturbing things I heard on there, I seen on there, whatever. And hopefully this video does not get taken down. So if you like this kind of content, if you seek the truth, hit the subscribe button and let's jump into it. So there have been a release of 3 million files, roughly 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images by the Justice Department. Believe it or not, that's only about 2% of the full files that are supposed to release them all. The worst content in the Epstein files include graphic evidence of sexual abuse, disturbing intimate photos, and the normalization of his actions among powerful associates. Here are the most damning and unsettling details reported from the files. Graphic evidence of abuse. The files include numerous, largely unredacted photos from Epstein's properties, including images of framed, likely underage victims, and in some cases, clearly labeled CSAM material. I can't even say what that word... It's child S.A. material. It's going to be very hard to do this video and try to censor, guys. Like, to be able to have this video stay on YouTube. Try to read between the lines. Understand what I'm saying here, if you can. The best you can. Failed redactions of survivors. In a highly criticized move, the Department of Justice failed to properly redact the files, exposing the names and personal information of victims, and in some cases showing unredacted nude photos of young women. So again, that would be the only defense for trying to get the files right, would be to not show these pictures, show these names, but yet co-conspirators were redacted. And so this is unacceptable. The massage room evidence. Photos from Epstein's home shows a massage room stocked with a cabinet full of lubricants, oils, and a drawer filled with sex toys. Disturbing art and decor. Epstein's properties featured disturbing artwork, including a life-size bronze sculpture of a young boy and a painting of nude, we'll call them cupcakes. Intimate toe photo. A photo shows Ghislaine Maxwell holding Epstein's feet and placing his toes into her cleavage. I guess that's disturbing enough in of itself. Sexual symptoms notes. A note from Jean-Luc Brunel to Epstein warned that if he didn't move, it would shorten your sex life. I don't know what that means. Letters from enablers. Evidence shows a perverted pep talk letter from a supporter named Stephen from Buffalo encouraging Epstein before he faced legal consequences. Deposition claims of trafficking for guests. Depositions suggest Epstein was open about trafficking girls to visitors, with victims stating, "I was lent out by him to his friends and associates to have blank." Claims involving powerful figures. The documents include allegations from victims that claiming that prominent men who socialized with Epstein must have known about the abuse, with some, such as Virginia Giuffre, alleging that naked pictures were visible throughout his homes. So, to touch on that for a second, Trump's guilty, Clinton's guilty, Bill Gates, all these people that flew the Lolita Express right to the island, right to his home, had to have known. It's just facts. It's just facts, guys. This isn't a left versus right thing. We have powerful, elite people who are maybe non-human entities controlling our world. I could talk about video games all I like, right? Or movies or TV shows, or sports. That's just all bread and circuses right now. It's all bread and circuses. It's all a distraction from this right here. Accusations of complicity. The files include allegations that certain individuals continue to visit Epstein and use his property despite knowing about the illegal activities. 100 times worse, a compliance claim. A victim told the DOJ of a non-compliance 100 times worse than Maxwell, highlighting that the abuse was enabled by a wider network. Yeah, and what do we have to show for this, huh? What wider network have we been able to stop? It's almost to the point now that by releasing the files, if nothing gets done, it's almost like they're flaunting it in our fucking face that this happened. Re-traumatizing survivors. The release of the files have been described by some victims as re-traumatizing, as they feel the government's handling has been reckless and failed to provide closure. So, there's a few other things I've seen in these files. There's claims of human cannibalism. There's claims of drinking blood. I'm really hoping YouTube does not censor me here, but I'm going to try to say this the best I can. There are claims they would cut open somebody's stomach, eat their intestines filled with doo-doo. Disgusting. And these rituals would also involve women who were bleeding from their back, having relations with black men, and there was also many code words in there. One of them was muffin, and I'm not even sure what that would refer to, but it referred to something, probably cannibal related. And on top of that, there's specific claims in here involving Clinton or involving Trump with cupcakes with Epstein directly in these documents. So yeah, this is just crazy, man. Like, this is nuts. Like, I always knew, probably since about 2009, that there was a global pedophile ring that ran the world. I knew it. I watched Alex Jones. I've listened to David Icke. But to, like, see it, like, to have it confirmed, to know now the rest of the world knows. It's almost like, well, now what are we going to do about it? Because you got one of two choices. You can bury your head in the sand, worry about bread and circuses, or we could demand accountability. There's so many, and you know what? This is the tamest way I could say all this. And the reason why, it's almost like the Epstein files are full of such shocking shit that the media literally can't cover it because it's so disgusting. So I am crossing my fingers. I have really went out of my way to try to make things vague, but yet understandable as possible for people to understand what's going on here in these Epstein files. You will drive yourself nuts looking at this stuff. Like, looking at these files And like, I barely scratched the surface of the 2% of the files that they have. There's 3 million documents in here, guys. Like we talked about earlier. I don't even look at the photos. I don't even look at the videos. I just read. But you're talking over 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. Dude, there's not enough time in the day. It's horrible. And surely more than Epstein, Maxwell, and now Prince Andrew need to go down for something like this. And for all the people saying, you know, it's mostly politicians saying this, not the people. But for all the politicians saying, well, if we arrest all the people involved, it'll collapse the system. If the system has to be ran this way, then the system deserves to be collapsed, is what I say. Because this isn't right. In any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I would say, you know, I don't care if you're religious or not religious. Every religious organization, every single non-religious organization, you know, food pantries to Salvation Army to freaking local governments to whatever we have to do to say, hey, this society is not going to continue until something is done about this, is the answer. Like a national sit-in. You know what I mean? But again, we're all so divided. We're all so shoved in that left-right paradigm that we cannot take the example of what Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna have done in Congress. Come together. Let's come together and say, actually, these elites need to be held accountable. That's what needs to happen. So we can take back our future. I don't want a future under their rule. I don't think you do either. Anyway, this is RJ signing out. Have a good one.